And you know, 1 Corinthians 7:32, it says this. I say this a lot, but this is so true. I would like you to be free from concern. An unmarried man concerns about the affairs of the Lord, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of this world, how he can please his wife, because his interest is divided. You've got the Lord and you've got your wife. But before you're married, you need to be set apart to the things of God. Where I got my strength in my life is I didn't date for 3 years, and my foundation was solid. You know, when you're building a house or anything, the foundation is the main thing that you put your time, energy, effort, and money into, because your foundation. You ever see when a tornado comes through and a house is blown away and your foundation is perfect? You need your foundation because that's what you stand on. And I got with the Lord, and I just said, God, this is it. I read this word, and I said, that's it. You said it, that finalized it. You know, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to date anybody until you bring my wife to me. So about 2 years into this, we're playing volleyball one night, and this girl, she's pretty good looking. She comes in, and she says, hey, and I go, hi. And we start talking. We're playing volleyball, and then there's a CD player. She said, oh, let me go get my CDs. And I'm like, okay, go get them. And then she kind of bounced back in and gave me her CDs. And I thought, okay, she's pretty good looking. Started flipping through them, all Christian music. I said, oh, yeah. The back 2 CDs were country music and some R&B. I gave them back, and I said, no thanks. Didn't even talk to her. Never talked to her again since then. Just a little bit of compromise in her life. I'm not putting up with that. Why in the world should I put up with just a little compromise when I'm waiting on the woman of God that I've always wanted? Got her. She came about a year later. And the thing is, if you compromise on the littlest things, you'll compromise on anything. Oh, go ahead and add that compromise to your kids when you get them too. Because if they compromise on little things, they'll compromise raising your kids. And you need to be set apart. And I'm telling you, you need to get a standard, and you need to set a standard, and you need to hold a standard for the rest of your life. Ask the Lord, what do you think? Is it okay if I listen to secular music? Do you think it's okay if I fornicate? Hey, God, I just broke up with this guy, but I know it's been 2 days. Can I just jump in another relationship? I mean, come on. Ask the Lord. If you're not, you're going to be so confused all the days of your life. And it's so sad that, you know, the past 2 weeks, I have done more counseling sessions by people who compromised. And I love people, and I try to help people. But, you know, I just love it to see when somebody is living for the Lord. And I'm telling you, if you will do business with God tonight and have a now moment with Him, it can radically change your life forever. That you'll never compromise again. 2 Chronicles 31:21, it says this. In every work that has begun in the service of the house of God, in the law and in the commandments, to seek God, he did it with all of his heart, and so he prospered. If you give God everything, you're going to prosper in life. If you give Him everything that you have, and this is so important, if you ever have even done this, when is the time that everything in your life has been focused on the Lord? Everything. All of your effort, all of your energy, all of your relationships, all of your money, all of your thoughts, all of your free time, all of your hobbies, everything in your life is pointed towards God. And I challenge you to try it for a month. Say, God, anything that is not of you, I will cut it off. I will cut it off for a month. You know, I started doing that, and it has changed my life. Jesus said this. Jesus replied and said, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. How could we do anything less? How could we honestly do anything less than give Him our all? Jesus gave us His all. He gave His life for us, didn't He? Just not for salvation, but for healing, prosperity, everything. And you know, the whole time Jesus was on the cross, He was thinking of other people. He was sitting there dying and tried to lead the 2 people to Him. He said, hey, do you want to spend eternity in heaven? Then John is sitting there and his mother is sitting there and they're crying, and He's ministering to them while He's dying on the cross. He's always thinking about other people. Everything in our life, if you focus it towards God, you're going to turn around one day and you're going to look at where you're at, and you're going to be blown away with what God can do in your life. You give Him all your gifts, all your ability, and everything that you have, and you will be amazed. Guys, you will get 3 times hotter than you are. Promise. And it's the favor of God upon your life. You can just do better things. You know, God will just give you a job. I've had guys say, man, Pastor Joe, I'm praying for a job. just a good job, and I got an unbelievable job. And because you're focused on the Lord. Now catch this. I planted and God gave the increase. Read it one more time. I planted, this is Paul speaking, Apollo watered, but God gave the increase. So many people in here, people have planted seeds in your life. They've spoken things over your life. They've prophesied over your life. You've heard in Sunday school. You've heard messages. You've had a Kairos moment with the Lord. You've wrote everything down. You've written things down in a journal. And you have all this knowledge. You have all these thoughts, and everything's around you. But you need the increase of God tonight to bring it all together. Do you know the majority of people in here have enough information and knowledge of Jesus Christ to be a missionary in a third world country? Do you know 80% of Christians in America could be a missionary in a third world country? You have all of these things. I can look at the majority of you, and I remember some of your prophetic words. I remember things that have spoken over your life. It's the increase. You need the increase, and I really feel in my spirit that God is going to do an outpouring tonight. So I want to ask you this. Who wants their increase now? Tonight, the message is now. I want you to close your eyes and really focus in on the Lord. I just really believe that a lot of people have been playing some games. You've backslidden. You've done some things. But deep in your heart, you're saying, God, now is the time that I want to run after you. I want to just run after you with every ounce of my being. I want everything inside of me. I want all of my heart, my thoughts, my mind, my relationships, my actions, my finances, my hobbies to be focused on you. Now is the time, God. I want, if that is in your heart and in your spirit, I'm telling you, now is your time. Now is your time for deliverance. Now is your time for freedom. And now is time to step into your calling and the things that the Lord has, because I believe that now is the time that the increase of the Lord is going to be poured out on a generation. The Lord is going to pour out His Spirit in this place tonight. If that is you and you feel that this is a now moment, that you're tired of going around the same mountain over and over and over again, but you need the presence of God to come in. The Word even says that in the presence of God, mountains will melt like wax. The mountains in your life that you have been built, that you've built or been man-made or whatever, those mountains can melt and be done away with in a Kairos moment at the altar with the Lord.